Simone from Core Strength, and today I'm going to give you a few exercises which are a great little routine for strengthening your abs and your glutes on the top of a fit ball. Now when you get a fit ball, let's start there. Firstly, you need to make sure it's the right size, because if your ball is too high, too big, you'll end up sitting too high. If it's too soft or it's too small, you can end up sitting with your knees up too high. So you need to make sure it's the right size. So what is the right size? When you sit on a ball, you should have your legs at right angles. So that means that when I sit down on my ball, you've got to have your hips and your knees in line with each other, like you're sitting on a nice solid chair at home. If you are not in the correct position, it can throw off your stability, your balance while you're doing the exercises, and you don't want to crash off a ball, okay? You need to make sure you are safe. So the other thing you need to remember as well is making sure that your core muscles are activated all the time. Really important for your stability as well, because that keeps the hips, the pelvis area strong, supported. So when we are sitting on the ball or moving around on the ball, we've got to have the pelvic floor lifted, we've got to have that belly button back towards the spine. Now I've been asked in the past, what's the difference between doing these exercises on a ball and doing them on the floor? And really, the biggest answer is intensity. You do find you are working a lot harder sitting on a ball doing the exercises than you are on the floor. And that is because if you switch off and you relax those muscles at any stage, there's a pretty good chance you're going to end up falling off the ball. So you've got to stay working always. So it does tend to work the pelvic floor and those deep core muscles a lot quicker, help them strengthen a lot quicker. So if you want to give it a go, but remember these rules. The ball needs to be the right size and you need to be working so that you feel safe at all times. That brings me to another point. I have shoes on when I use my fit ball, because especially when I'm doing curls, which we're going to do today, you do want to make sure your feet aren't slipping around on your mat or on the floor at all. Sometimes socks can make you slip, sometimes bare feet can make you slip. It depends on the surface. So again, make sure you feel safe, make sure you feel stable, and then you should be right. So the first exercise we're going to do are C curves. C curves done on the floor. Have your knees up high and you have quite a tight angle in through the front of the hips here, which can cause a little bit of stress to the hips and also to the lower back when you're doing them. So what you find is if you're doing C curves on the fit ball, you haven't got that stress there. So people who have any kind of hip or back issues, injuries, that sort of thing, this position on a fit ball doing them is a lot more comfortable, and you'll find that you'll work a lot deeper. So we make sure our feet and knees are in line with our hips. So we don't want to have our feet tucked out to the side and our knees dropping in, or vice versa. Nice straight lines here so that we can feel balanced. You'll also notice that my knees are directly above my ankles, not over my toes, okay? That again is about stability. It's about keeping my balance here so that I can sit nice and tall on the ball. Then I'm going to think about my pelvic floor. So a great way to do that on the ball is to think about your sit bones, your bum bones, and you want to sort of pull them towards each other. And that helps lift you right up through the center. Now if I pull my belly button gently back, that's like the glue that's holding all of that into position. And I'm now sitting nice and tall. Arms down by your sides so you can relax the arms and shoulders. And focus on the pelvis. We get a pelvic tilt. We tuck the tailbone under and then we sit up nice and tall. And that is all it is. A tuck and a lift. Tuck the tailbone underneath you, pull out of the hips. Be careful not to tuck under and then push your bottom backwards. Okay, we don't want to overextend the back there. We need to keep it neutral. So belly button back, pull back. Keep pulling it back even as you sit up. Tuck and lift. So you can do about 10 to 15 of these. And it's a really gentle exercise for the core muscles. You can feel the pelvic floor gently lifting as you sit up. The belly button is pulling back the whole time. You're activating all the abs right down above the pubic bone as well, right down low. Just a little bit of tightening there too. At the same time, we're getting a bit of flexibility into the pelvis. So again, if you have tight back muscles or tight hips, this is great for loosening up a little bit, getting some movement through that area. And then we're going to sit up nice and tall. Now we're going to go into some curls. Now when we do curls on the ball, you will notice you feel those abs work so much quicker than when you're doing curls on the floor. But it is really important that we stay connected the whole time. So belly button is always pulling back. At no stage do we want to become one with the ball. So that means to circle ourselves around the ball. So I'll show you, we tuck and we start with our C curve, always important, gets this strong. Then we take a couple of steps forward. Now as long as you keep your shoulders and hips facing in the same direction, that's straight ahead, you will stay on the ball. If you twist, there's more chance of the ball moving and you ending up on the floor. So tuck the tailbone under, walk forward slowly. And you can see I'm bringing my knees back over my ankles as I move. And again, that's so that I'm always pushing down into the floor, not out, so I don't end up with my bottom on the floor. When I've done about 2 steps, that's enough. Now, if my bottom is down the side of the ball, as you can see right now, I have a lot of surface area on my back, on the ball. Stability makes me feel safer. My arms are out to the side. I can even hold the ball gently here with my arms. That keeps the shoulders open. And again, I feel safer. Belly button is pulling back. Like I said before, you don't want to become one and wrap yourself around the ball. You've got to use your tummy muscles. Corsets, pull them nice and tight and hold everything in. And then you can do curls from here. So you can support your neck if you like. Or you can leave your arms to hang. That's completely up to you. I like to hold my neck or support it. I can already feel my tummy muscles working now. You can see I'm not sitting all the way up either. Again, for safety, I just want to make it a tiny little crunch where I'm pulling my ribs towards my hips. And like I said, it doesn't take long to feel those abs really starting to warm up. So now I'm going to breathe out, out through the mouth, in through the nose. Now I can make this harder by taking a little step backwards. You can see now my belly button is more on top of the ball than it was before. But it also gets a little bit more of my upper body off the ball. If you have neck issues, do not go to here. If you have back issues, do not go to here, because it does allow you to expand the rib cage a little bit more here, so it's a lot harder. But that curl now, I've got further to lift. I've got less support from the ball, so my tummy muscles will burn even faster. To come back out of it, hands on the ball, walk yourself back in. Make sure that when you come back up, don't just move your feet and forget about the body. Same, don't forget to bring the feet in. Because if I end up here, again, there's every chance that I'm going to start sliding in that direction and end up on the floor. So move with the ball. Okay, another type of curls would be to do oblique curls. We can't forget the sides of the abs as well. Works into the waist, helps support the hips. So again, another 2 steps out, support the neck, and this time we're going up and over. Now with this one, you do need to twist through the upper body to get into the sides there. And when you twist, you need to make sure that the hips don't. So the hips are anchored down into the ball here, but my shoulders aren't. And I come up and over, because if I twist my hips, the ball will move with me, and again, I'll end up on the floor. So up and over, reaching towards the knee, not towards the side walls, up and over. And again, you'll feel those abs work pretty quickly. You might be able to get 10 repetitions of those in. You may be able to get 20 in. See how you go, do what you can, and when it does start to burn, don't stop. Do a few more and push through that wall. Really strengthen those abs. So again, we're going to sit up nice and tall when we've done those. And now we're going to move a little bit further down into the glutes. So I'm going to move my ball back a little bit so I've got room to move out. I'm going to take about 3 steps this time, maybe 3.5, depends how big your steps are. Hands by the ball for support. Now there's my curl position, but I'm going to keep on going. As soon as I take my next step, you can see my head drops back and rests on the ball. Again, I have my knees directly over my ankles. It may be hard for you to see. You do learn where these positions are the more you do it, but you could use a mirror to start with or have someone there to spot you. I'm squeezing the glutes gently here because I've got to keep my hips lifted. So I don't want my back to be sagging down towards the floor. Squeeze. You're using your lower back muscles as well to lift, and of course, belly button's pulling back. Now, with this exercise, to make sure that I stay on the ball, these arms are going to hang out to the side. Keeps my chest open, it keeps both shoulders anchored onto the ball. You also need to make sure that you have pretty much up to the bottom of the shoulder blades sitting on the ball. So if you have a quite a firm ball, you may want to make sure that you're not out too far. So just step back a little bit, okay? So from here, we're going to drop the hips. It's a little bit like doing a squat in this position. You bend here at the hips. You can see the ball didn't move when I did that. Then I gently squeeze and push up through the glutes and the lower back. The ball is not moving. Slowly down and slowly up. And of course, depending on your flexibility in that area, it depends on how deep you can go. But we don't want to lose that connection of the pelvic floor lifting. Now, if you can't feel your butt working after about 5 or 6, then maybe it's time for you to bring your legs in a little closer. But just be careful when you do that because it does change your balance. But you're going to feel it a lot harder with the legs closer together. Okay, so what I don't want you to do is this. So what I was saying before about the ball moving. If the ball is rocking, firstly, you may end up on the floor. The ball could slip out from underneath you and you don't want that. But as well as that, what I'm using now instead of my butt are my legs. So if you can feel your legs burning and not your butt, then you're probably doing it that way. So let's go with about 10 to 15 of those. When you're done, arms down by your side by the ball. You slowly start to walk in. You can see I'm tucking my feet under me as I do this. Then I can touch the ball, hold the ball, and keep walking as you sit up nice and tall. So when you get to the top, after all of those exercises, give your hips a circle, couple in each direction, loosen everything up, and go again if you can. So that's my little fit ball workout for sitting on top of the ball. There are many other exercises you can do with the fit ball, so subscribe to my YouTube channel and then you'll get notified every time I put up a new video and you'll be able to catch some more exercises that you can do easily at home with your fit ball, with all your little safety tips as well as you go through and making sure that you're feeling it in the right places and not in the wrong places. As well as that, if you've got any questions or comments, then please note them down underneath. I am on Facebook and Instagram, Core Strength Pilates and Core Strength respectively. So check it out, like me, message me, subscribe, and see you again.